can't believe we all found world peace in the form of Baby Yoda. What's up, guys? Here we are with episode 3 of The Mandalorian. Gotta review it. Now, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, that is okay, because this is going to be a spoiler-free review, except for the fact that Baby Yoda is in this video, because I cannot hold back talking about this precious little thing that has captured the hearts of the entire internet. Had you ever asked me if the Star Wars fandom would be united over everything, I would have been like, what? Let alone something so precious and so cute. So this episode of The Mandalorian is interesting because we do ultimately see him complete his goal in a way. He returns his bounty, and that is that. Now, one of the things I found very satisfying about this episode, and a lot of people are saying a similar thing, is that it goes how you expect it to. In a lot of ways, the episode that you're following, it doesn't remove any of the tension or any of the excitement from the episode, but it really does, beginning, middle, and end, kind of end where you expect it to in a way. But every single minute of it is absolutely enthralling. And I think that's because The Mandalorian is following a very different structure of storytelling, and it's something that we're not used to anymore. We have kind of, as a society, become accustomed to this idea of spoilers and spoiler culture, and I've talked about it before in the past, but in a different note to that, we expect things to have all these plot twists and for it to be crazy and just not expected. But that's not actually what good storytelling is. It can be. A story that's great can totally blow your mind. Of course, though, if writers are spending too much time trying to trick their audiences, you could end up with results that are not as favored. I'm not talking about any show in particular, Game of Thrones. But, you want to please your fans in a way. Like, there's a difference between pandering and also delivering a satisfying, story-worthy conclusion. And I think this episode really fits the mark with that. It's definitely my favorite of the 3 that we've gotten so far. I think it's the most cinematic. Deborah Chow does a fantastic job directing it. I feel very confident with her directing the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I think that it's in good hands. She takes on a very hefty episode in a way, but makes it just as interesting as if we didn't know where it was going to go. We don't need constant plot twist after plot twist.
That's very twisty.
I'm here for a satisfying story, for a satisfying conclusion. I want something to be a part of Star Wars lore. Just because you predict something doesn't mean that it wasn't well thought out and it wasn't well written. Of course, though, there are some pleasant surprises, particularly one in the end, which is something that I have always wanted to see. It's absolutely groundbreaking on a live action sphere level with Star Wars, as well as totally cool looking. I think ever since Boba Fett hopped on screen, it's something that we have wanted to see, in a way. Like, we've wanted to see where these Mandalorians come from and how they interact with each other and how they would act in a more serious, intense, action-y situation.
Nice.
On top of all that, I thought this episode had some really cool homages that were not, again, in your face, like some eras of media can be. But in this, I felt like the nods were really cool. There's one to the infamous Ice Cream Man from Empire Strikes Back, the little machine that guy was running out during the evacuation of Cloud City. There is one of those little machines in The Mandalorian, in this episode in particular. There's one we see a Mon Calamari nobleman, which is, of course, the same race as Admiral Akbar from the original trilogy. There's an ITO interrogation droid, which is, of course, the droid that was used to interrogate Princess Leia in A New Hope, as well as Hera Syndulla on Star Wars Rebels. But the biggest one is, of course, the battle droid that we see in a flashback. Now, there's nothing too spoiler heavy with this conversation because nothing is really revealed quite yet. We do get more flashbacks with Mando in his past, and we see a little bit more of that scene where his parents were trying to save him and everything, and it kind of pans to a battle droid. And what's interesting about that is that it gets you to see how the Mandalorian race was affected by the Trade Federation, because that's what that implies. That's pre-Empire. Of course, the Empire wiped out the Mandalorians as well. We know that from Rebels. But also in this, it goes in a little bit, shows you a little bit that the Mandalorians were kind of a mistreated race during the Trade Federation as well. But we're going to hopefully see more of that conflict. I'm really interested in these flashbacks and where they go. We've only gotten snippets of them so far, but understandably so, because this episode arguably takes us the farthest in terms of where the show is going. Because afterwards, you're kind of left with this thought like, okay, well, what now? You know, we have the Mandalorian and we have a new purpose, a very clearly sketched out purpose, and it's going to clearly make some conflict throughout the galaxy as well, but it kind of leads you to believe, where is he going? We still have plenty of characters that we've still yet to meet, and there's so much ground to cover, and I'm very excited and optimistic where it's going. The action sequences in this episode were beautiful to watch and absolutely amazing. There's a little bit more dialogue in this episode. We get to hear a little bit more from the Mandalorians, particularly the welding Mandalorian. She was pretty cool. She was kind of, this is the way. This is the way. That's going to become a phrase that's going to go with, you know, may the force be with you, or I am one with the force and the force is with me. You know, we're going to get, this is the way. It feels empowering. I have spoken too still. I'm clinging on to that. Sue me. I'd still sell my life for Baby Yoda. There's no debate. Apparently they've announced they're releasing toys. All we've had to do was ask for it. Disney's like, yes, we will take your money. Absolutely. So guys, did you see this week's episode of The Mandalorian? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't see how you can hate it, but if you did, let me know in the comments below. May the force be with you. You have a great day.